G'day Cobs, it's Rubes3497 here and it's great to have your company. As always, before we begin the video, as I am hearing impaired, I tend to speak a little bit louder than most other people. I am wearing my hearing aids and I do have my 2 hearing devices to ensure that I'm not yelling at you, and I do edit my videos, but in the event that I unintentionally blow out your eardrums, I apologise in advance and thank you very much for your understanding. To the review. From the studio that brought to life our favourite bandicoot and the dynamic duo comes The Last of Us 2. 7 years we've waited, friends. 7 long years. I think I'll let this picture describe how I felt when I picked up my copy. 7 years of us wondering, where would Naughty Dog take our beloved Ellie and Joel next? Could it be to a happily ever after? Absolutely not. And you would be silly to even think that could be the case. No, this is a revenge story. The game starts off 5 years after the events of the first game in the established town of Jackson, where a community has come together and humanity is seemingly thriving. The threat of the infected still lurks around the corners, but in a more sustained way. Groups of townsfolk go on patrols to ensure their community stays safe, and new relationships have formed and strained over the last 5 years for our Joel and Ellie. To get straight into the negatives before the positives. Unfortunately, this game is not a 10 out of 10, but in saying that, I personally don't think it's anything below a 7. My reasonings for this. The pacing of the game is frantic at times. 1 minute you are doing one thing for 2 or 3 hours in real time, and the next storyline only lasts an hour before jumping back and forth multiple times from story arc to story arc within the one story arc. Secondly, Joel's death. Yes, I am salty about it. However, that isn't why I'm mentioning this. What I don't agree with is killing him off not even 2 hours into the game itself. Why not kidnap him instead and make the revenge storyline about finding him, only to have him still die at the end? I don't think Naughty Dog did justice or gave his death a true purpose. The intent of his death is of course clear, but Joel deserved a better death. Something I do like about this approach though, as much as I thought I would hate it. You get to play from the perspective of his killer, and you come to truly like her. At least I did anyway. I was still grossly annoyed at what she had did, but I thoroughly like Abby as a character and appreciate her character development and story throughout the game. The twisted perspective ends up making you question who is in the right, if anyone, and makes you question your own morals as well. The setting for The Last of Us 2 is absolutely gorgeous. Each area you explore is jam-packed full of details and collectibles as well. Something I really like is how you can interact with this environment and use it to your advantage in certain situations. An example is being able to break through windows to create new routes to explore or escape enemies. Another small feature I thoroughly enjoy is how Naughty Dog have created each enemy in the game to have a name, all the way down to the dogs. If you kill one of the enemies and their friends finds them, their friends mourn and call their names out. For example, oh no, someone's killed Peter. It's even more upsetting when you kill a dog and the dog handler literally mourns over his or her body. It's the little things that make the game extremely immersive. Crafting has had a pretty big overhaul in this game as well, and I'm so happy to say that you no longer need to find resources to craft shivs nearly as much as you needed to in The Last of Us 1. Ellie is now equipped with a knife, whereas Abby still requires the shivs. The crafting element I really do enjoy. Being able to customize the weapon to my personal playstyle and liking really appealed to me. The game also incorporates a new Game Plus mode, as you can't get all the weapon upgrades in the one playthrough, so all upgraded weapons do carry over, and the upgrades themselves are fairly decent, primarily increasing your ammo or stability of each weapon. Character relationships are a huge component to this game. There are more characters and groups you interact with in this title than the previous, and each having a personal effect on Abby or Ellie. Some characters I think could have been expanded on a lot more, as I felt some of them were just chucked in as a meaningless filler. An example of this is an entire cult group. Whilst they play a bigger part in Abby's story than Ellie's, they really are not in the game as much as I hoped they would be. Yes, you get introduced to them, kill some of them as you would kill other enemies, but that's about it. Yes, there is a small story arc to this group, but I would have appreciated a little bit of a better or longer arc to this group, as I found them extremely interesting. Now, we need to talk about accessibility in this game. Holy moly, have Naughty Dog outdone themselves when it comes to accessibility. As a hearing impaired gamer, features were brought into this game to ensure I could play this game just like anyone else and could still be immersed. Such features included the game prompting me to the direction of an enemy's sound and which direction it was coming from, because naturally I can't hear footsteps or clickers very well. This worked especially well against stealthier enemies such as stalkers, especially since you can't really use the listen mode feature against them anyway. Small things like this I know are greatly appreciated in the gaming community as a whole, but especially for those with disabilities. To put in perspective how accessible this game is, those who are visually impaired can play this game with the amount of features Naughty Dog have put in to the game, which is absolutely incredible in my opinion. Not only do these features cater for those of us with disabilities, but also cater for gameplay experience as well. You are able to adjust certain gameplay aspects such as how well enemies detect you, how hard it is to kill them, or how hard it is to kill you, and much more, as you can see. Now, if A Last of Us 3 does get made, I don't know where it will head. A part of me really wants to see Abby again, but in saying that, Ellie's story needs closure too. You can't make a huge arc to her story of being unable to get infected and not finish or expand on that part of the story. Whether The Last of Us 3 sees Abby re-establishing what is left of the Fireflies, or Ellie perhaps catching wind somehow they exist and going out on a whim to see if anyone else can make the cure as Abby's father could, I don't know. But Naughty Dog, in my opinion, cannot leave that stone unturned should they make a third. I also feel if a third comes, it must be a final. The Last of Us 2 swings and misses in some areas in storytelling, but I can say that should Naughty Dog decide to do DLC, which at the moment they have said there are no plans to, but if they did, I would play the DLC, no questions asked. I look forward to seeing what you guys think about the game. I look forward to Naughty Dog's next big title.